Hi guys, it's Ariana. Welcome back to my channel. So for tonight's video, we're going to be reading some more scary stories, but before I jump into it, I do want to say I am so sorry for being gone for so long. I didn't mean to take like 2 weeks off, but last weekend, right when I was about to film, my ring light, which is my big stand that holds my camera when I'm filming, that has my big ass light on it, fell over and smashed. And you can't replace just like the circular ring part, like the light bulbs. You have to actually just replace the light. So I had to wait for Amazon to ship me my new ring light, deliver it, and there was 2 delays in the process of that. So my ring was supposed to be here last Tuesday and it got delayed. And then on Thursday, which is yesterday, when it was supposed to be delivered, I got notifications saying that it was out for delivery. I was waiting for it to arrive so I could film. I got an email stating that there was a problem with the delivery and they were going to reschedule my delivery for April freaking 10th. It is the 5th today. So I was like, no, absolutely not. What the hell is going on? So I rescheduled the shipment for the next following day, which is the 5th, because it was the 4th when this happened. And I had to contact Amazon to figure out what the hell was going on. And I guess the truck broke down or something along those lines. They couldn't really give me too much information. Their customer service isn't the best. Basically just told me that it would be coming the following day. So thankfully it is now Friday, the ring arrived, it's here, it's massive, it's crazy. I'm very excited that I have a new ring light, but it is very fucking bright. Like I have a dimmer on it so I can turn it down and up, and this is as bright as it can possibly be, and then this is like as low as it can be, and my God, it is fucking bright. But with all of that out of the way, that is why I have been gone for so long, because I was waiting for it to arrive and my camera literally sits on my ring. So I couldn't film without my stand and my light. So I had to wait for it all to arrive and it's here and we're good to go. So as per usual, I have my wicked candle in here making the whole room smell like caramel apples, and I don't really have anything else to ramble about, so I'm gonna jump into these spooky stories. So all of the stories that I'm gonna read in this video are going to be deep woods, creepy backwoods stories because I really like those. I know you guys prefer the true stories, so these ones are all true stories. I have been reading a lot of no sleep stories on my channel lately, so I tried to find more creepy, true stories for you guys, and these are the ones that I found. So let's just jump into the stories. So this is from the Backwoods Creepy section on Reddit. It is from the Reddit author negative-feeling-838, and it's titled, What Made Me Feel This Way? I was walking from my boyfriend's house last night, a bit after midnight. I've known him for 6 years, and I go there all of the time. I've never felt anything like this. His estate is surrounded by woods, and on one side, a few houses are sprinkled here and there. The path I take to my house is overlooking a hill, and the woods are to my back. The entire walk takes maybe 5 minutes. As I was walking, I was fumbling through my pockets to find my AirPods when suddenly I got a feeling of dread completely overwhelm me. This came out of nowhere and caught me by surprise. I was suddenly paralyzed with fear that I actually contemplated calling him to come and get me, but I couldn't force myself to wait or make any noises. I don't know what I thought was gonna happen, but I could feel tears as I started running. As I was approaching a clearing, I felt that the air was very thick and quiet. Everything felt very off. I've been walking the same path for the past 6 years, and I've never felt anything like this before. To clarify, I am in Ireland, relatively safe city, and there are no large animals or predators in the area. Not sure if this even belongs here, but I would like to hear your thoughts. I feel super uneasy and uncomfortable about this. Thanks. There is an edit, and they said, thanks for everyone chiming in. In hindsight, walking at night with AirPods was kind of stupid, and I was definitely lulled into a false sense of security. Living in a relatively safe city and a neighborhood where rarely anything happens, I should probably add that I'm an immigrant, and despite living in Ireland for almost a decade, I don't know much about fairies. In any case, I'm glad nothing bad happened, but this definitely took me enough that I'll start being careful when walking alone. I see someone mentioned The Gift of Fear, which I added to my Kindle. Thanks all. So I think that's a book probably on fairies, I'm assuming. So let's read some of the comments. So some of them said that this is basically telling you that there's a predator nearby, and animal predator or human predator feels the same, a sense of doom or an urge to run, which you don't want to do in a country with true animal predators, as it triggers a prey instinct and they can chase you. So a lot of people are saying that you were probably in an area where a large predator was at, like near you, and you just had like the effect that you had on you, that your body knew that a predator was watching you and basically giving you fight or flight. So that's really scary. Someone else said something similar happened to me while working on cleaning up a bush in the woods. I had been working a spot surrounded in fields for a few weeks, about 50 acres, and one day something gave me a chill. I called for the dogs, only one came back, and it looked scared. I got the immediate sense I should leave and walked back to the house. It was about a 5-minute walk, and my dog returned 40 minutes later and was freaking out. She was completely missing her heavy-duty collar as well. Later, when my boyfriend and I went to investigate, we found the collar intact, neatly coiled on a mossy rock beside the trail. It was left in a spot where you could observe where I've been working while being mostly concealed. Clearly taken off my dog and left for me to find. Scared me enough to keep me from walking alone back there. I'd keep the AirPods out if you're walking alone. That's really scary. Holy crap, that's terrifying. So a lot of other people are saying just it's most likely a predator. So I'm really interested in the fairy theory though. That is really, really creepy, and my goodness, definitely don't walk alone at night in that area or walk at night, because you literally have no idea what could be following you or watching you, and you have no idea, especially if there is predators in the area. You did say that there isn't, but you never know. So let's move on to the next one. This one falls in with the fairy theory, which I'm kind of leaning towards with that one, because if you're saying that there isn't predators in the area, it very well could have been fairies. We don't know. This one is from the Reddit author History Guy 300, and it's titled Whistling in the Woods. I live in rural Southwest VA in Appalachia, and I heard odd whistling in the woods a few days ago at night. It started when I was playing airsoft alone in the woods at about 7 p.m. It was almost pitch black and was walking around the woods behind my house. I got to a clearing just on top of a hill, and I sat down to take a rest. Just when I sat down, I heard an odd whistling. It was perfect whistling, and it whistled a tune I've never heard before. It was clear, and it sounded very close, maybe within 100 feet or less, and it came directly from behind me. It would have had to have been in the woods and near the property line with one of our neighbors. It instantly gave me the chills, and I got the feeling that I was being watched. I, not being an idiot and having a brain, wasted no time in sprinting full speed down towards my house, hopping over rocks and limbs. The whistling stopped shortly after I got moving, but I still felt like I was being watched and like something was very wrong. I didn't see anything when I did turn back to look while opening the gate, but that may have been because of the darkness and the distance. I don't think it was a bird, as the leaves on the trees haven't regrown yet, and it still stays cold at night and sometimes during the day. But I don't know much about birds. There was also no birds that I had seen, and everything else was completely quiet. I also doubt it was a person, as I heard no one talking, no leaves crunching, no other noises. I should also mention the whistling started out nowhere and did not gradually get louder, as if someone or something was moving closer while whistling. I've been in those woods a decent amount of my life, and I've never heard anything like it before, not even once. I was a bit tired, but I've been more tired before while being in those exact woods at similar times, and I'm not one to hallucinate. The situation still gives me chills when I think about it. I've had the feeling of being watched before in those woods, but those feelings have never been so intense and extreme as that one night. I was hoping if anyone could know what it was. Was it an animal? There are dogs around the house, and most wild animals stay away, and I haven't really seen anything outside of a bear or two or deer in the woods. The dogs occasionally bark randomly into the woods, but they weren't really barking at that moment when the whistling happened. I'm not saying it was paranormal, but I'm not saying it was just a wild animal. Also, apologies for typing so much. I just want to make sure all of the details are included. Some people have left comments saying it's kind of like hearing church bells coming from a forest during a rainstorm and then realizing there isn't a church anywhere. You just ignore it and move on. That's really creepy. I would flip out. Holy crap. And people are also saying, I grew up in the mountains of West Virginia. We were always told to never whistle back. If you heard phantom whistling in the woods, I don't recall being told why though. Oh my God. And some people have said because you don't want to attract Bigfoot, obviously joking, and because they may hear you. What the fuck? It's not just that they hear you, it's that they know that you heard them. They're powerless until you acknowledge them, so you should never ever answer their whistle. It's an invitation. I'd argue that running away like Opie did is too close to acknowledgement for comfort. You should have just walked away calmly. Walked away from what? Who are they? What are they? Oh my God, this is fucking so creepy. Everybody is just basically saying like, don't ever whistle back, don't acknowledge the whistle, just walk away slowly as you possibly can and get away from there. That is so weird. Oh my God, I'm assuming that one again is like paranormal, fairies, something to do with being in the woods, and hearing like phantom whistling or phantom church bells just gives me the straight goosebumps. My hair on my body is standing straight up right now. Holy crap, I do not like that at all. Oh my God, that's creepy. The next one is from the same section. It's the Backwoods Creepy section. It's from the Reddit author Hannah X 2000, and it's titled Getting Lost in the Woods, an Experience. This is my Getting Lost in the Woods story. I feel like I see so many of these and they are always so relatable. I've been wanting to share my story in one of the subreddits since it happened, so here it is. It's pretty long. Since this happened about 2 years ago, me, my fiance, and my best friend decided to go to this popular hiking trail near us. The trail leads to a giant rock that hangs off a cliff. It's a beautiful look over the city I live in. It's a far walk through the woods, and you're on the same trail going straight for most of the hike. The trail eventually makes a sharp turn, gets thinner, and gets very steep. You really have to hike up this part, and then you reach an open field. You can see the rocks above you, and you have to climb up one more path that leads you to the rock. Even though the hike is long, the path is very easy, and it's hard to mess up. Considering this is the only path in the area of the woods that I've found, at least, I've done it multiple times at this point, and I've even hiked down well after midnight, after watching fireworks at the 4th of July. Anyways, the three of us decided, since we were walking close to the road that leads you to the trail, we were gonna go visit. It was about 7 p.m., so it started to get dark pretty fast. We didn't even make it off the first part of the trail, as I already mentioned. It goes straight for about an hour until you get to a sharp turn. We didn't even make it to that. We decided, since it was getting too dark, that we were gonna turn around. We all had our flashlights on and everything was pretty normal. We never set foot off the path. The path is pretty much dark, engulfed by the trees, but there is this one spot where the trees open up and you can see the entire downtown area of my city. And it feels very high up because the trail is basically in the middle of the hillside surrounding the entire town. We got to the spot where the clearing is, where you can see downtown, but it looked flip-flopped. I don't really even know how to explain it. It looked like the town was flipped, like how you can flip an image on your phone. Like someone took the town and flipped it the other way. It was late and dark and we were tired of walking, so I just didn't really take it seriously when we walked past. I still felt like the weird feeling though, and I felt like everything was backwards all of a sudden. That's the only way I can really describe it. It was backwards. And we all said the same thing to each other. It was my fiance who said something first, which is just weird because usually he'd be the last to say anything in a situation like this. All he said was that he feels backwards. My best friend freaked out because she gets anxiety like that and said she felt the same way. I mentioned that the clearing looked weird and they all agreed with me that they thought the same thing, but they thought they were just being silly. At this point, we should be close to the exit, but it felt like we were going in circles. The path started breaking, like the path wasn't even the same one that we'd been walking on. So we turned back around towards the rock to try to figure out where we were. We came back to the clearing and it still looked weird. So we took pictures. You wouldn't really be able to make out that it looks flip-flopped unless you lived in the same city. We knew we were at the clearing though, because it's the only part where the wood's clear. And we knew that we were on the right path because we never got off of it. We decided to turn back around towards the exit, but it didn't bring us to the exit. It also didn't bring us to the path that looked wrong and started to break. It was a whole new part of the woods we've never seen before. There was also a door on the ground. It looked like a door to a mine maybe. We tried to do research, but there was no evidence of a mine being there. But there was multiple mines in the city, so it wouldn't surprise us. It was just an old one that wasn't on record. Besides the door was about 5 or 6 white chairs with what seemed to be white sheets lying on the ground around them, like little pieces of white cloth. Not very big pieces, just pieces. There was also beer bottles. The chair was in a circle formation, and there was no fire pit in the middle or anything, just a circle of chairs. Looking back, it could have been a little campsite someone made, but it's scary as fuck at night when you're lost. It really freaked us out, and every time we walked that way, we just made our way back to the chairs and the door. Obviously, we started trying to call and text people who we knew for help. Even called my parents, but no one would answer us. It was late, and I guess that made sense. So we were very lost and really getting scared. We were gonna have to sleep up here, and eventually, after walking what seemed to be in circles, we just walked out. Like so fast, the exit was right there and we just walked onto the path for a minute and we were completely out. Almost immediately after we leave, I got texts back from people I was trying to get help from. And one more creepy thing, just to put the icing on the cake, there was about 1,000 pics taken on my fiance's phone at around 10:30, like bursts. If you have an iPhone, they have these things called bursts where you can take a lot of pictures quickly. It was very strange. The pics were all just white. It's also weird how his phone took pictures when we had his flashlight on at the same time. The pictures were taken during the time that we were lost. We didn't go back for about a year until me and my fiance decided to go back and try to find the path that we made onto, just for peace of mind, and we couldn't find it. We couldn't find the door, and we couldn't find anything strange, except for a giant meat grinder. I hate the woods so much. They freak me out thinking about the woods, forest, or any time. That's just one of the worst experiences for me that I've had, and honestly, I hope people don't think that I'm bullshitting. It sounds crazy to me, so I can imagine someone thinking that I'm lying, but I'm really just looking for a possible explanation. It's one of those things that bothers me to this day, and my fiance doesn't like talking about it because there's just no explanation for it. Me and my best friend still talk about it, but it goes nowhere because we have thought of every possible explanation we can think of. So any similar experiences or theories would be great. That is absolutely messed up. I don't know what I would do if you felt like you were trapped in a loop. Walking in the woods at night is already scary. It's already like nerve-wracking, causes anxiety. But when you know that you're on a path and you know the way, and all of a sudden it just changes and you feel like you're stuck in like a time loop, that's weird. So I don't have any explanation as to what happened. It sounds like you went into like an alternate dimension. It was kind of like the upside down where you're literally in the same plane, but it's different, it's flipped. I don't know. That is really strange. That is very, very weird. If anyone in my comment section has any idea what that could have been, leave it down below. If you've ever experienced anything weird happening to you in the woods, please let me know. I would love to read your guys' stories. If you guys have any creepy stories that you want to share with the channel, I would love to read your guys' personalized ones because they are so creepy. It just adds an extra level of creepiness when it's your guys' personalized stories and they're not like fictional stories. They are just weird things that have happened to you. I love reading those stories. I don't ever want them to happen to me, but I love reading your guys' stories. So this is where I'm gonna end the video because we are at the 20-minute mark and I need to edit this and upload this because I have been gone for 2 weeks. So again, so sorry for being gone for so long. My ring light breaking was really out of my control and the shipping issues was just icing on the cake of a bad time. And then also my engagement ring, I'm wearing my fake one today because my engagement ring, one of the diamonds fell out of the band and the band actually snapped. So I'm dealing with that now. I'm dealing with the jeweler, trying to figure out how that happened, why that happened, and what they're going to do because it seems like they're going in the direction of just remaking the entire ring because I've only had it for 2 months and it's already broken. How does that happen when I'm so fucking careful with my ring? So this has just been a bad week. I've not had a good time this week, so I'm going to edit this, upload this, and hopefully YouTube will start promoting my videos again. So if you guys made it to the end of this video, please leave me your favorite in the woods emoji. Leave me a creepy emoji if you want to leave a ghost or a pumpkin or something, or leave me something to do with this story, which is like a fairy, or leave me just a woods emoji. Lets me know that you guys made it to the end of the video. It also helps boost my channel on the algorithm. Leaving a comment, liking the video, sharing the video really does help my channel. So please feel free to help me as best as you guys can. Leave a comment, even if you're just saying hi, that's great. But thank you so much for watching and I will see you guys at the next video. Bye.